Good.
You gonna put the theme on?
I did. You can't hear it?
Don't sweat it. It'll start 5 minutes later, and then we'll be quiet or something.
Hold on. Give me 1 second. All right, screw it.
Yeah, that's where I'm at, and it worked too. That's what makes it terrible.
It was working. Yeah. All right, we'll work through it. No worries. All right, guys. We don't have a theme song. We're trying something new since we're having so many technical difficulties. We were trying something new. So we'll have to work through that. We tested everything was working previously, and now it's not. So that's how it goes. So hopefully we'll be a little bit more stable. But welcome to episode 21. We're starting up early since it's a holiday. Happy Labor Day, everybody. Hope you're having a good day. If you're at work, that sucks. Hey, just listen on the podcast on iTunes. But welcome to the Panther Nation podcast. I'm Rashad.
And I'm David. What's going on, guys?
Exciting times, man. Exciting times. So we're officially down to 53, and it looks like the season is upon us. Week 1 is next Sunday, and it's really exciting. So we're gonna do a game preview. But before the game preview, we're gonna talk about this 53-man roster, the final roster as it is right now. Things are subject to change, apparently. We have no idea what the hell is going on. But let's go through this roster real quick, and we'll kind of talk about the players and what we think their role is going to be, and I don't know. Let's just get through it and see what happens. Quarterbacks, Mr. Newton, of course. He's healthy, apparently ready to go. And we got backing him up. We have Derek Anderson, and what we thought was backing him up was Joe Webb, but no longer is Joe Webb in Charlotte. He went to Charlotte North, the Buffalo Bills.
No, the Buffalo Panthers.
The
Carolina Bills.
The Carolina Bills. Yeah, man. They got Joe Webb. Not surprising at all. Kind of saw that one coming, especially when Dave, when you told me, I wasn't aware that I saw it scrolling on the screen on the ticker when they said they signed Joe Webb, that Tyrod Taylor was in the concussion protocol. I had no idea.
It's not just Tyrod Taylor. It's Tyrod Taylor and TJ Yates.
Yeah, facts.
So both of them right now are currently in the concussion protocol. So we could legitimately see Joe Webb start week 1.
And we could potentially see him start week 2 versus us. How crazy would that be, right?
Yeah, man. Because if he plays well, they're not going to bench him. There's no loyalty with the guys that are there.
That's true.
New GM, new coach. There's no loyalty. So if Joe Webb plays well in week 1, I wouldn't be shocked if he keeps the job.
Yep. So replacing Joe Webb, we brought in Brad Kaya from the Lions. He is from the U. I saw a lot of Brad Kaya, and I watch a lot of college football. I'm a Florida State fan, so I kind of see Miami a little bit. And Brad Kaya was all right. He's the all-time leading passer in at the U. So that says a lot. There's been a couple good quarterbacks come through Miami. So just a couple of thoughts surrounding Kaya, and I think it was a good. After the dust settled, and when you think about it, we talked about it previously. When is it time to bring another quarterback? When is it going to be? When are we going to see another guy? And I think it was good. I'm not going to say good timing because the timing sucks, but to bring in a quarterback that's fresh. Joe Webb was 30 years old. DA is 34 years old. DA's contract year is this year. So DA is probably not going to be on the roster next year. It's time to bring in some fresh meat. And I think Kaya is he's not as mobile as Joe Webb is. He's more of a pocket passer. But I think he can use his feet a little bit. But it's time to start thinking about that Cam replacement. And I think, hey, Kaya it is. Kaya or Gilbert. Gilbert is still on the practice squad, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But I think both of those guys have an opportunity to prove themselves and become that number 2 guy next season or the year after that, whatever it may be. But what's your thoughts?
Initially I liked the move. I thought it was awesome that his mother was Felicia from the original Friday 20 years ago. So I thought that was cool. I haven't watched any film of Brad. I'll take your word for it about his college football chops. And I agree because, DA is pushing 35. I think he's 34, 35.
He's 34. He's 34 right now.
Yeah, so he's 34 years old. So I know we have to start thinking about a backup other than DA. So I can't be too mad at the move. It's unfortunate how Joe Webb got shuffled out of it. But I can understand what Carolina's thinking because within a year or two, you would think it'll be Gilbert versus Brad. So they got to start thinking long-term from DA. Because I don't know if they don't want to keep paying DA that amount of money.
Well, I don't think he's getting paid that much, to be fair. He's getting paid
like under $3 million or something like that, I believe.
It's less than that. I think his cap hit is really low this year. It's not much at all. So I don't think the pay is the thing. But I do think, we all saw it. DA this year, if that's any indication of how he's going to play moving forward, we definitely got to think about somebody else. And Joe Webb, what I thought should have been the guy. I thought he was playing well, but obviously they're going youth here. They're going youth, and you can't argue with that because this team is old. We're an older team now, as a whole. Like the team is old. So I'm not mad. I'm not mad at it. It makes a little bit of sense. So I'm on board with the Kai pick. To be honest with you, it sucked, and we gave our. That's why I wanted to get on yesterday was to kind of get that raw reaction. And it sucked at the time, but now that you process it and you think about it, and that's what Herney said. Herney was saying that, it's time to get some youth in here and let those guys battle it out and see what we got. Because, again, Cam, these injuries are racking up, and if he's not healthy, we got to have something else, a long-term backup plan. Right now, everything was short.
Yep.
So I'm not mad at it. It sucked. Like, immediately I was pissed that the Joe Webb situation because I thought he played extremely well in the preseason. And they said Kaya had a good preseason as well. So I need to go back and look at his preseason film. I'll probably do that at some point today. But yeah, I'll take a look at Brad Kaya. I saw him in college. He's pretty good, but I don't want to spend too much time on him. Let's keep it moving. Let's any more thoughts?
No, that's it, man. For them to make the moves that they've made gives them confidence that Cam's ready for week 1. So that gives me confidence that we're going to be ready to rock. So
I agree with that too. So on to the next running backs. Our running backs remain intact unless you want to count fullbacks. But running backs, we still got Jonathan Stewart, McCaffrey, Fozzie Whitaker, Artis Payne. One of those guys are probably going to be inactive, honestly. But we did let go of Alex Arma, and apparently we're hoping that he clears waivers, and I think there's the intention of putting him on the practice squad. And when that kicker decision is made, I think he will make it back on the roster. But for the meantime, it is what it is. He is not a member of the Panthers organization right now, which I told you we didn't need a fullback. I told you that. I told you we didn't need a fullback.
But you didn't say that we needed 2 kickers.
I definitely did not say that. But I told you we did not need a fullback. I thought that fullback was going to be the extra receiver slot or running back slot. But yeah, as of right now, and that could change later on today or before week 1. But right now we don't have a fullback. And we don't need one. I really don't think we need one. The way this offense looked in the preseason, there just wasn't a lot of fullback action. How many times did you see Darrell Young or Alex Arm on the field. It wasn't often. Like, them guys didn't get that many snaps. So,
we'll see. We'll see what happens after we let the kicker go. We have to let a kicker go or trade a kicker. Something's going to have to happen. That's going to cause a ripple effect to the roster.
Do we have to let one go? Because
we need to let one go.
I agree with you, but I'm just playing devil's advocate here. It doesn't look like we're going to get rid of one.
No, we are. I'm confident within the next. I'll give him 3 weeks that one of those kickers will be gone.
Oh, 3. So you're giving it 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Okay, I was going to say
probably less than that, but I'm trying to be conservative with 3 weeks. I just think the reason why they didn't. I don't think they wanted to make a decision on a kicker yet because it's so close. They want to see what Gano does. I think that's what it boils down to. If Gano freaking chips his field goal, I think he's gone.
Let's hold the kicker discussion off until we get down to that part. But we'll deep dive into it because I got some thoughts on that too. So moving on from the running backs, we have wide receivers here. 5 wide receivers: Kelvin Benjamin, Devin Funchess, Curtis Samuel, Russell Shepard, and Damiere Byrd. I specifically thought that we were going to keep 6. Obviously, we traded away Kalen Clay, and a 7th round pick next year. But I didn't. I don't know. To me, this signals that Curtis Samuel's health must be good, because he did practice yesterday, and there was no words or any indication that he was injured or hampered by anything. But my concern here is lack of speed. If something happens to Curtis Samuel, there's you only got Curtis Samuel and Damiere Byrd as speed guys. None of these other guys, Russell Shepard, Devin Funchess, or KB, are speed guys. That's why I thought Kalen Clay was important, just in case, because I really don't think Curtis Samuel is durable enough, because he hasn't shown it within these past in the preseason. He hasn't shown it, and so far I don't think he's durable enough to make all these games and make the stretch, a 16 week stretch. So that just leaves us with Damiere Byrd as a speed guy, and I don't like that. Well, I mean, we got McCaffrey. I keep forgetting McCaffrey.
Yeah. Don't forget about McCaffrey.
Yeah. All right. So that's fair. We got McCaffrey.
Folks said he was the best route runner in the draft. So don't forget about McCaffrey, man.
Yeah. Hey, you're right. You're right. I'll take that. I did forget about McCaffrey. He can line up anywhere too. So, yep, the good call. Yep. Any thoughts on wide receivers?
I'm cool with the 5 that we picked. I'm looking at the depth chart right now. It looks like Samuels is like the 3rd guy behind the wide receiver 2 slot. So he's the 5th wide receiver on the team. I'm fine with it. Well, we'll get to practice squad later, but I'm fine with the 5 that we have.
Yeah. All right. Let's I'm good with it too. I'm happy with the receivers. Just wish we'd have had one more, but that's cool. Tight ends.
Running back, you have your one more, man.
No, we can't do that. We can't do that.
That's what it boiled down to.
Tight ends. We got Greg Olsen, Ed Dixon, and Chris Manhertz. Pretty much called that one. Manhertz played well in that last preseason game, which I think solidified his spot. Obviously, Scott Simonson was hurt, so he was pretty much locked in at that point. Any thoughts on these?
Nah, I mean, we knew Olsen's obvious, Dixon's obvious, because Dixon then can put him in the fullback slot, like you've mentioned in previous episodes.
Yep.
And I know you like Chris Manhertz a lot, so
I do. His size is very impressive, and I think he's got to work on his hands, but his size is impressive. He's a big guy and he's pretty quick. So I think he can start developing to be that. We've never had that 2nd or 3rd wide receiver. It's always been tight end. It's always been Ed Dixon and Greg Olsen. Greg Olsen and Ed Dixon. And I don't know. It's about time to start thinking about another guy, because Olsen isn't exactly a young whippersnapper. So any more thoughts on that?
These 3 were expected, especially when Scott Simonson had the injury. So these 3 were the expected 3 to make the team.
All right, next up we got offensive linemen. We got 9 of those guys: Ryan Khalil, Matt Khalil, Darrell Williams, Trey Turner, Andrew Norwell, Tyler Larson, Taylor Moton, Amini Silatolu, and Greg Van Roten. How many people called that one?
Not a soul. You did call Darrell Williams beating out Moulton, though. I'll give you that.
Yeah, I did. That's pretty obvious. I think Moulton is right on his heels, though. To be fair, I think if something were to happen to Darrell Williams, I would be 100% confident in Moulton.
Yeah,
100%. And that's what you want, right? I don't want him thrusted out there and have the pressure of starting. But I think he's extremely smart, and he's shown pretty well that he can play and he's ready. So I would be 100% confident if Darrell Williams went down. Taylor can play anywhere on the line, really, to be honest with you.
Well, it's interesting. I'm looking at this depth chart. I'm looking at while you're going through the roster, I'm looking at the depth chart. And the big thing that I noticed is that Greg Van Roten is the backup guard for both left and right. And he's the only backup guard.
Oh, wow. Well, no,
but we know Moulton can play play guard too. Amini can play guard too. So I know we got flexibility within that position. So we got versatility there. And
Larson could probably slide over the guard as well if he needed to. I think most of those guys are pretty versatile. For once in a long time, I'm pretty happy with the offensive line right now. They played well in the preseason. I have no complaints about this offensive line. I think we've got solid depth. So if anything happens, I would feel comfortable with these guys. I'm very confident in these guys, and I think they're going to play well. Hopefully.
I don't think the first team gave up a sack all preseason. I could be wrong, though.
No, you're right. They didn't. There wasn't many sacks given up, period.
Yeah.
I think when you got to the third string, I think they started giving up sacks. But I think I don't think DA took a sack. I could be wrong on that. I don't think DA took a sack all preseason, which is impressive.
Yeah, considering where we felt like it about 5 months ago.
Yeah, exactly.
We're looking good on the offensive line, which is good for our win game.
I'm happy with this offense. I like I said, I can't make any. And again, I think Matt has played well. I think he's going to have to do it. We need to see it for a full game, and see how they can keep that up. But I think as long as the correct plays are being called and Cam is not having to sit back in the pocket for 15 minutes, I think they're doing a good job.
Yep,
they're doing a good job.
I like this unit. This might be one of our best units in a long time, man.
In a long time, yeah. I'm happy with them. All right, next up, defensive end. Defensive ends, we've got 5 of those guys: Charles Johnson, Mario Addison, Julius Peppers, Wes Horton, and Deshaun Hall. Pretty good.
Yep.
I have no complaints. Just hope Hall gets healthy, and I hope to see him out there, seeing what he can do. He looked pretty good. He had a decent preseason, so no complaints there. Just it's a little old. But we'll talk about that when we get down to the practice squad. I think we got some guys that can come in at some point. But yes, just a little aged.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Old but effective.
Yep. So defensive tackles, we've got 4 of those guys: Star, K1, Vern, and Kyle Love.
Kyle and Vern must be ready.
Yeah, they practiced yesterday. So I think they're good to go. Kyle Love, I saw him posting on Instagram. He's back and ready to go. Hopefully those guys stay healthy. But even if somebody went down, I'm confident that now that Eric Kroom, we'll talk about the practice squad, but Eric Kroom is good as well. So if something were to happen, and they're not 100%, we can promote Kroom from the practice squad. Any other thoughts on the tackles?
Nope. This is expected to.
Yep. Linebackers, got 7 of those guys: Luke, TD, Shaq, David Mayo, Jeremy Cash, Jared Norris, Ben Jacobs. No Ben Bulwer, huh?
No Ben Bulwer, man. Guess he didn't show enough.
I told you.
I know.
I told you guys, this dude, he did not. He just, I don't know. He didn't have enough opportunities. But yeah, I'm not surprised that he didn't make the roster at all.
I don't even think he got picked up yet.
No, he didn't. I haven't seen it. He didn't look good. I don't know. He didn't have the opportunities. I'll say that.
Yeah, well, it's tough. I mean, one of the best linebacking cores in the NFL, so you had to show out to get a spot, and he didn't show out.
Yep. Ben Jacobs surprised me a little bit, man. I didn't think we were going to keep 7, but he's a special teams guy, so it's kind of not surprising when you got rid of most of the good special teams guys that we had. So I don't know. Jared Norris played. Jared Norris and David Mayo look good as backups. Jared just has to stay healthy. But I'm okay with this group. Can't be mad when you got Luke Kuechly on your roster.
Yep. This is as expected as well.
Yep.
It's about to get interesting now, though.
Yeah, it is. It is. With the next group of players, we got defensive backs. It got very, very interesting yesterday. Boy. So we got 9 defensive backs. I'm lumping in safeties and corners together. We got James Bradbury, Daryl Worley, Kurt Coleman, Mike Adams, Colin Jones, Captain Munderland, Kevon Seymour, Cole Luke, and Demetrius Cox. Wow. So we went into the weekend. It was crazy, man, because so many injuries. We got depleted, man. I felt like we had a solid core of guys at cornerback. Safety was always a concern, even coming into training camp. We should have addressed this a long time ago. But cornerback, I mean, we got decimated at that last preseason game with Teddy Williams going down, who was playing well, and then Zach Sanchez also going down, who also was playing well. When those guys went down, and apparently their injuries are pretty significant, we had to make some moves, and that's what we traded for. We traded what's your boy's name? Kalen Clay, and a 2019 7th round pick for Kevon Seymour to the Bills for Kevon Seymour. Any thoughts on him? Did you have a chance to look into this guy?
I think Kevon could fight for a starting spot, yo.
You think he's that good?
I mean, Buffalo
or do you just think Worley's gonna stink up the joint?
I think Worley's gonna have that pressure now, because I think Kevon, like, the Bills had a pretty good secondary, man. Truth be told, like, their secondary was pretty good, and at some point he got to start.
Was it though? I mean, without Stephon Gilmore.
Well, Gilmore didn't get there. Gilmore just got signed this year.
No, Gilmore is he was with them. He went to the Patriots.
I thought that was this year. Gilmore wasn't with the Patriots last year.
No, not last year. Yeah, this year. So he started 3 games last year. Correct.
Yes. He started 3 games last year.
Same page.
Bills had Darby. Bills had Gilmore. So, and this kid was able to start on that secondary. The secondary wasn't that bad in Buffalo.
That's fair.
So, you know, he has starting experience. Worley does too. So I think this is I think if Worley keeps struggling, because he struggled in the preseason this year, I wouldn't be shocked if Kevon comes in and take a start.
Yeah, it's interesting. He's a bigger guy. He's a 6-foot corner. Yep. He has some speed on him.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to a guy. There's a guy on YouTube that did I guess he did like an analysis of the trade, and he said that I don't know if he was a real hardcore fan. So, but he said that Kevon didn't do much. It was just kind of one of those guys that got lost in the shuffle. But like I didn't do my due diligence on this guy. I don't know how hardcore of a fan he is, but I can tell you about any guys on my roster. But he seemed to give like these vague analysis. So I won't trust that. But we'll see how he pans out. Because I mean, we didn't give up much, but we're and especially it was a 2019 draft pick. And Clay, I mean, while he was playing well, I just don't think he was going to suit up on Sundays anyway, as a 6 wide receiver. So I don't know, man. I think we had to do it. It was something we had to do just because the injuries just killed us. So we had to do something. So I'm happy with the trade. I'm okay with that. It's another one that had to sink in. At first, when it happened, I was kind of pissed off. Go ahead.
He's more of a man guy too versus his own guy,
which is good though.
So I think that because I think Wilkes wants to do more man for our corners, for our outside corners anyway. So that's a good thing. There was some stat I saw that he was one of the best when it came to one of the best rookies when it came to defending in man. So if he's in a man situation, I think I like our chances. And that's the other thing you got to keep an eye on Worley too. If he's struggling, if Worley starts struggling on man, don't be shocked that Kayvon takes his spot, man.
Yeah, no, I'd be happy with it, to be honest with you. I wouldn't be mad if he took Worley's spot, because we'll talk about that later in the game preview. But Worley is going to have his hands full next week, or on next Sunday. But all right. So let's talk a little bit about this Demetrius Cox kid. Do you have he can play? I heard he can play both ways. He can play safety. He can play corner. Demetrius Cox. I know he went to Michigan State. I don't know anything else about the guy, to be honest with you.
Well, he was drafted. He's a rookie. He was undrafted free. He was undrafted free agent. He almost made the team in Cincinnati, and that's another team that has a pretty good set of secondary too.
Yeah.
So he almost made the team on that squad. You could assume that would be an upgrade from what we already had. You can argue that the safety position was the weakest that we had.
He can't be worse than Colin Jones.
No,
that's just not possible. But I'm still concerned, man. I'm still concerned because is he that much better than Southward?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like Southward, obviously they see something in the guy. Obviously, when you make waiver claims like that, and I was gonna say this, and I caught myself because I wasn't 100% sure, was that when you on the last podcast I was gonna say when you place a waiver claim, the guy has to go on the active roster, which is true. When you claim him, for instance, like if somebody wanted to claim or a team wanted to claim Alex Arma from us, then they have to put him on the active roster. Yes. So you're taking a huge risk by claiming these players, and they have to take a roster spot. So obviously they see something in this guy. I don't know. I mean, I don't know much about him. I didn't get a chance to look into him.
It could be two things, right?
Yep.
So we got Southward that we did have to let go. We made a decision to let Southward go, thinking that he'll make it back around to us to go on the practice squad. But then if you watch the film of this kid, and this kid shows a lot of potential, you'd make the decision, you know what? Let's go ahead and snag him. Because we needed safety help anyway, because we decided not to draft the safety as it is. So why not? Might as well.
I guess it's one of those things where do you take I don't know what the saying is. I'm trying to think of it, but I guess I'm going to take the risk of what I know versus the risk of what I don't know, right? Give me Southward because I know what I have. He's on the practice squad, so he's somewhat decent. He's serviceable. But you're taking a risk on a guy you haven't really had a chance to coach. You don't really know. He's an undrafted rookie as well.
Yep.
So we don't really know what he's capable of. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Give me the risk. Let me take a risk on something that I know in Southward.
We should check the boards, the Bengal boards, and see how disappointed they were because we picked them up.
Right. Yeah. And going back to Kevon Seymour, a lot of Bills fans were pissed. They were not happy with that trade. So that tells me that Kevon is a pretty solid player, and he's got experience too. You want guys that have experience,
and we got
a lot of youth already in the secondary. It's time to get a little bit of experience.
Well, he doesn't have as much experience as Bradbury.
No, he doesn't. I mean, obviously,
they were all drafted the same year, by the way. For those who don't know, Bradbury, Worley, and Seymour were all drafted in that same draft, which tells me there's pretty good corners in that draft.
Yeah, no, we definitely won with Bradbury. That dude is a monster. Speaking of that, I got his autograph yesterday. Cool dude. He said he had the 24. I had the 24 over, and the name was draped back behind, so he couldn't see it. He was like, "Is that my jersey?" I was like, "Yeah, man. It's not Josh's jersey, bro. I wouldn't do you like that."
I still have Josh's jersey.
Yeah, I still have it too. It's
I gotta retire it. I've been wearing it like when I got to mow the lawn or something, but
that's messed up, man. Josh on lawn duty, bro.
He's on lawn duty, man.
You got Josh on lawn. So you clean your house in your Josh Norman jersey.
I clean my house in my Josh Norman jersey, man.
That's
I clean my house in jerseys on folks that are in the squad. Unless I'm like a legend or something.
Funny. Yo, that's funny,
like
man.
that's what I do. Like I'm like, man, he ain't on the team no more. I need a shirt.
That's funny.
I need a jersey.
I got my Josh jersey. It's I got a whole crap ton of jerseys, and they just if they legendary, I put them on the wall behind me. I got to get 2 more frames, but if not, I just kind of wrap them up and hold on to them, kind of see what happens to their career down the line. But that's funny that you mow your lawn and Josh. That dude, he could be a Hall of Famer, bro.
He could, but who do you think he's gonna thank first though? He's gonna thank Washington before he thanks us.
Maybe
if he stays in Washington, but we'll see.
He'll probably end up coming back at some point. But all right, we got a little sidetracked. That was a good little conversation about Josh. But yeah, shout out to Bradbury yesterday. He's a cool dude, man. But yeah, that's any more thoughts, man? We got 2 undrafted rookies in the secondary, Demetrius Cox and Cole Luke. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. But it puts into perspective too how rough it's been for us in the secondary. But once again, and I've said this before, if our front 7 is elite, we'll be fine. Because we've started worse back there than what we have right now, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So we'll be fine if the front 7 is good. Now, if the front 7 is not good, I'm nervous on the side that Warley's covering. So
yeah, All right. And last but not least, we have the specialists. 2 kickers: Graham Gano, Harrison Butker, Michael Polladay, and JJ Jansen. So we ended up letting go of Andy Lee. We talked a little bit about that a couple days ago. So let's talk about what we got. We got 2 kickers. Graham Gano. What are we doing? What are we doing, Dave? Talk me off the ledge. Tell me why this is a good idea.
It's a terrible idea. But if he misses a field goal, he's gone. Especially if it costs us a game. If he misses a field goal and it doesn't really cost us a game, he might survive a week or 2. If he misses a field goal, he's out of here. He's gone. He is out.
Yeah, but here's my thing, man. Here's my thing. You can't. Kickers are head cases, right? They're sensitive people, right? So like you can't keep 2 kickers and expect one guy just to kind of. I don't think he's got that added pressure now. Like I've got a guy literally on the roster that could not just take my spot like a week from now, but he could take my spot in this damn game. Like I could get replaced in a game. That's added pressure. Like you're essentially destroying your own kicker. Like I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me. I get it, and I get it. Obviously they think they have trade value in one of these guys. What are you gonna get? What are we really holding out? Are we really taking a chance on losing a guy like Alex Armour, for instance, a guy that he has the potential to be good down the road? You cut him when you have an extra spot sitting here, but you're holding 2 kickers in hopes that you get what in return? A 7th round pick, a 6th round pick. I mean, what are we really expecting to get from one of these guys? I'm not understanding. Help me, man. Help me understand.
I agree with what you're saying, because when you make the decision to keep 2 kickers, like you only keep 1 kicker because you're trying to build confidence for that kicker. When you make the decision to keep 2, and you know for a fact that it's not a situation where one guy does kickoffs and the other guy kicks field goals, you're putting yourself in a bad spot. You're not instilling any confidence in either one of them.
No, you're not. And you're doing nothing but adding pressure. Like both of them, like you trot one out, you got literally a guy sitting in the wings waiting to take your spot in the next game. Like, or in this game, potentially in this game, I miss 1 kick, I'm getting replaced the next. I can guarantee you, if Graham Gano misses that first kick or extra point or something, Harrison Butker's going to be kicking next. Like, you can't do that to your kicker, man.
I don't think they're going to activate both.
That's true. That's a good point.
They're not activating both. They're going to make the decision and say, hey, Gano, you're in for week 1.
Right.
They pretty much already said that's what's going to happen. Now, if Gano misses some field goals in that game and we end up losing because of him, Gano going to be out on the street. We won't be waiting for a trade.
We won't have it. Exactly. You're just gonna cut him at that point, and then we just potentially cut a guy like Alex Armour. He's the only one I could think about off the top of my head. But I'm not saying that he's gonna be an elite player. I'm just saying you cut Alex Armour and take a huge risk by taking 2 kickers. Like that's a spot. That spot is valuable. Like I don't know, man. It makes zero sense. He sounded like he was. I watched Herney's little press conference thing they did yesterday, and he sounded so like, yeah, this is the plan, but I really don't know. Yeah, Gano's going to start, but I don't know this is kind of a fluid scenario. Like, yo, trade one of these dudes right now, man.
What a problem here. Yeah, here's the thing. I think Herney put us in a bad spot, and I'm going to tell you guys why. When speculation came out saying that, hey, we're going to possibly trade a kicker, that he had to keep both because he had to try to keep the leverage. But what he failed to realize is that now you don't have any confidence in either one of these guys. So now you're putting these guys in a bad spot too. So like he needed to get rid of those kickers before Sunday. Like one of them needs to be off the roster before Sunday in a perfect world, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen.
And here's another thing. To me, this seems like it seems so cut and dry to me. Like Graham Gano is like a $3 million cap, a kicker, $3 million cap hit this year. It seems so obvious to just let him go, man. Save that space. Start building start going. We need youth. I don't know how old Graham Gano is, but he's not exactly young.
One of the best kickers in the NFL, though, even with his struggles.
I can't tell. He probably was one of the best kickers in the league. We need to fact check that, bro. Because I don't know about that. He was on his Aguayo last year.
Nah, he wasn't as bad as Aguayo.
He wasn't that bad, but he was borderline. Something was running in that Florida State water, man. Because he was not looking good. But all right. But yeah, so that being said, that's the roster, man. Any final thoughts?
3 weeks, one of those kickers will be off the team, either by trade or they're gonna let one go. That's my prediction. Yeah. I mean, it should be sooner than that, but I think by then the pressure will hit, and I think if they can get Armour, and we got to get to the practice squad players to discuss, but if they get Armour on the squad, then I think this is not a dire situation anymore. They can hold off a little longer if they wanted to, but I think they just got to get rid of one of them. I think this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
That being said, let's go ahead and jump into the practice squad. We got quarterback Garrett Gilbert, wide receiver Keyars Garrett, wide receiver Mose Frazier, offensive tackle Blaine Clausell, defensive end Brian Cox Jr., defensive end Zach Moore, defensive end F.A. Obada, defensive tackle Eric Kroom, safety Damian Parms, and safety Desmond Southwood. What's your thoughts?
I know you're happy that Cox made it through because I know I was nervous that he wasn't going to make it.
Yeah, Cox is going to be a beast, bro. I say next year when Peppers walks away or if he decides to walk away and he doesn't come back, Brian Cox is going to be a problem. He looked good. He looked good in the preseason, man. Him and Obada. I think Obada has a couple more. He needs to come a little bit further along, but Obada looked good in the preseason. Southward, man, like he's on a practice squad. I still don't understand why he's not. He's got more experience. I still don't understand why he's not on the roster.
I'm shocked that he was practice squad eligible, to be honest with you. He's been in the league for 3 years.
Yeah, but he probably wasn't active. You got to be there's some rules about being active. I forgot what they were, but it's really complicated because you can have 2 years experience, or you have so many games you have to play to make it a full season. So if he didn't play, he might have been made the team, but he might not have been active and he didn't play in the game. So that's why the same reason with good old Brenton Burson. That's why he spent so many years on the practice squad as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm happy we got Garrett Gilbert back too. I think he's gonna be a solid guy. Him and Brad Kaya are gonna go at it next year about the backup spot and could potentially keep both of them. Keyars Garrett, man, I feel like, man, I don't know what's up with him because he was doing well. Then he got, I think he got injured or something. Didn't make that trip to Tennessee, and now I don't know what's going on with him. But I think he has a lot of talent.
Yeah, he does.
If he pans out, I compare him to Stephen Hill because I was a huge Stephen Hill fan, and they're essentially the same guy. And just Stephen Hill had a little bit longer injury history. But yeah. Outside of that, man, and Eric Kroom, I'm glad we got Eric Kroom back because he's gonna be a beast too. It's a big dude.
You know what I'm gonna ask you? You might know, you might not know. Mose Frazier over Austin Duke.
Austin Duke, I love him, man, but he sealed his fate that first game, bro. He dropped the two balls back to back. I just, man, he struggled. He struggled the first two games. Frazier, was that not Frazier that caught that pass? From Joe Webb in the last preseason game? Was that Frazier or somebody else?
I have no idea. I have to check.
And Frazier's the one that punched Luke Kuechly or swung at Luke Kuechly too. Surprised he was able to stay on the roster. But yeah, man. I don't know. But yeah, I don't even think Austin Duke got picked up anywhere either. I could be wrong, but I don't think he did.
Nah, he didn't catch. Frazier didn't catch that touchdown pass.
No, it wasn't a touchdown. They called it back. It was a long pass though.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, Again, he sealed his fate early. That first preseason game, man. After that, he didn't get as many opportunities. He was kind of running with that borderline 2-3. He was running with the twos a little bit, Austin Duke was. And then after those two drops, that was it. You barely saw him.
Oh.
But I don't know. I think that's going to be in flux. We still have one more spot left. So I think either one of the kickers are going to – they're talking about putting Harrison on the practice squad.
He won't make it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He won't make it. They ruined that. Like when I heard them say that, oh yeah, we want to try to put Bucker on the practice squad, I'm like, you can't now. Because if you unless you're lying about the fact that you had trade offers, they're gonna scoop him up. So that's not even an option. That's part of the reason why he's probably still on the roster. Yeah. So that's not happening. So I mean, it's gonna be for Arma. Hopefully it'll be for Arma.
I see Arma coming back to the practice squad. Then whenever they make that decision with the kicker, I think he'll end up making the full roster. But all right, that's the roster. That's what we got, man. That's what we're left with. It is what it is at this point.
We spent too much time talking about kickers.
Yeah, we did. All right, so let's push this thing along. We got the 49ers next Sunday at 4:25 over on the West Coast at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. I mean, let's see what you got, man. We talked about it a little bit before we went live, but 49ers haven't lost in week 1 since 2010. And
at home.
No, it says they haven't lost in week 1, period.
Are you serious?
Yeah, since 2010. And they're 12-4 in season openers since 2001.
That is insane.
So they're pretty good historically. And let me tell you something, man. We were talking about this earlier. The 49ers are not as bad as we think they are. I don't know. Well, for me, I thought they were straight garbage. But then I started looking at this Vikings game, which I have on right now. But this Vikings 49ers game in week 3. And the Niners are not as bad as I thought they were. They're not great by any means, but they're not as bad as I thought. Their defense, we can probably run the ball in their defense if we wanted to. I don't think their run defense is that great. But they were abusing Remmers pretty badly in this game. I'm not gonna say he gave up 3 sacks, but they ended up giving up 3 sacks in the first 2 series in that game. So I think Eric Armstead was abusing Mike Remmers. So I don't know. We got to hope. Hopefully, Daryl can do much better and watch that right side. There was a lot of pressure coming from the right in this game. So what are your thoughts on the Niners game specifically?
The big thing that people need to understand is that, yeah, like folks in the chat are saying, well, preseason doesn't mean anything. And I'm like, yeah, it does. Particularly that third game means something.
Yeah, man. We get to see what they're gonna do. It doesn't mean nothing, but dude, people out there trying. They're playing hard. Like, obviously, you're not game planning and stuff like that as much. There's some game planning involved when it comes to week 3, but yeah, man, Dale, the 49ers, I'm telling you, man. All right, y'all think if y'all keep saying the preseason don't mean nothing, you're gonna find out pretty soon, especially if that stat holds true with what I said. And then I'm gonna come back and say how much does it really mean.
All right, so with regards to the 49ers, they got a new head coach, Kyle Shanahan. The same Kyle Shanahan who was the offense coordinator for Atlanta, who pretty much poured us in something vicious last year.
Did that against us.
Yeah.
He knows our defense. He knows how to rape us, which he did.
Very well. So I'm not trying to say we're losing this game. I'm just saying we need to walk into this game and respect the opponent. I think if Carolina walks in there and don't respect their opponent, then we will lose this game. John Lynch has done a pretty good job getting players from a GM's perspective. They got a new head coach in Kyle Shanahan who knows our defense very well. And it's at home. They haven't lost a game week 1 since 2010. So they're gonna be ready. And it's gonna be at their big stadium, so they're gonna be hyped. So I just hope that we go in there and understand that this is about business, and we take them to task. I think we can beat these guys. And I want to say it's going to be easy, but I don't want to disrespect their opponent. Vegas has them at 6 point. Vegas has Carolina at 6-point favorites right now. I think San Fran is going to. I honestly think that San Fran is. I would take the +6. I think it'll be a closer game than what we realize.
Yeah, they're saying this. I read a couple of previews. They're saying it could be an offensive shootout. But yeah, listen, man. I think I'm watching this team. They want to run the ball. They're gonna run. They run first. Obviously, we know Kyle Shanahan makes running backs. He does very well with getting running backs off. Like, if you go to any of his offenses, their running backs pretty much are beasts. Even if they're not, they're made beasts. So I think we got to hone in on a run. I think we're a very, very solid run defense. We should be able to stop there. Their offensive line is not that good. However, Hoyer is getting rid of the ball pretty quick. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. From what I saw in that first series, I think he was like 6 for 6, and he was getting rid of that ball quick. I mean, it seemed like they really did do a little bit of game planning, and they know that the Vikings defense is aggressive and pretty good. So they were getting rid of the ball quick. He wasn't under duress. He wasn't, he was comfortable. And we got to watch this guy, Marquise Goodwin, because he's going to be lined up probably against Del Worley, and this dude is a track star, man.
South Carolina.
And he absolutely torched Xavier Rhodes. Woo, did he torch him? And Xavier Rhodes is pretty good.
One of the best corners in the NFL.
He tore. It was a play action. He might have bit, so Goodwin might have got a head start. But he torched Xavier Rhodes, had him looking around, man, like he's fast.
Yep.
And Worley could get abused pretty good if we don't watch out. And then they also have Pierre Garçon, which is a pretty steady hand at receiver. He's not great. None of these receivers are great. Let's be honest here. There's no Julio Jones on this roster. There's no really good receiver. I mean, there are no really great receivers. There's good receivers. Good. Pierre Garçon is really solid. He doesn't drop the ball much. It's a solid guy. So I think we should do well. I think Bradbury's going to do his thing. Probably shut down Garçon pretty well. And like I said, I do think we should win this game. But I agree with you, Dave. It's going to be closer than we think. Their defense is not that great. and we're kind of unknown as well. We don't really know what. While Kyle Shanahan might have experience with kind of knowing what we do, hell, I don't even think we know what we're gonna do right now. Like as far as it's gonna be a game flow thing, and we're gonna run the ball if we can. But if we decide to start throwing, what are you gonna see? I don't think nobody knows, right? We don't even know. I don't think the coaching staff really knows what they really have until it gets out there.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things. I think we're gonna probably see a lot of Christian McCaffrey. They had problems. The 49ers had problems with stopping the dump off passes. So I think you could see a lot of that. I think the 49ers are beatable and we should get the W, but I wouldn't be surprised if we lost or if it was close because they're not as bad as I thought they were. I really thought they were trash, to be honest with you. Until I started looking.
I didn't think they were terrible because they made too many changes. They made too many changes in the offseason, man. I thought they were gonna. I mean, they might still be for third place in their division, but I didn't think they were going to be as bad as they were last year. I think they were going to be an improved team because they have the new head coach. They have a GM that actually looks like he knows what he's doing. People were at first was questioning them hiring John Lynch, but you can see by the way he drafted. He had a heck of a draft. People aren't really talking about it, but he had a pretty good draft.
Nah, people are talking about it. I think he's getting credit. He's getting credit for his draft.
Yeah, he had a pretty good draft. I mean, I'm not saying that. I'm just trying to tone you guys down in the chat, man, because you guys are like, oh man, we should blow these guys out the water. It's still the NFL, guys. And these guys and as a franchise, they legit are trying to improve. And Carolina has had a habit of not showing up for week 1 games. So let's y'all need to relax a little bit. I think we're gonna win. I'm picking them to win. But I just think it's going to be closer than what people are going to realize. Now, we could blow these guys out the water, and y'all can look at me like I'm dumb next week. But it could be a close game. It's week 1. Week 1 is always unpredictable across the board, man. I wouldn't pick the Panthers in a suicide pick. I'll put it to you that way. There's better options than the Panthers in a suicide pick this week.
To be fair, I did look at you spoke a little bit about it in reference to week 1 games. I couldn't find any stat that correlated to a win-loss record. So I was trying to do it. It was nothing. It was all over the place. So we're not. It's not like we've been. If we win the first game, we're gonna go on to have a winning record. I couldn't find any stat like that. So I think it's really up in the air. And like I said, we got to show up. I think we're ready to bounce back. It's all on what Cam. We don't know what Cam is gonna do. It's just a lot. It's a lot of unknowns as far as us, and I think that's where we kind of have the advantage because I really don't think anybody really knows. Obviously, you can game plan for our defense. It hasn't really changed. Well, it has changed. It changed. We got to do coordinator. So hell, you really don't know what to expect there either. It's just a lot of things that are moving, so we don't really know what to expect. It's kind of hard to preview the game because we don't have any stats to go off of. We just kind of don't know, and I'm scared to kind of make any kind of prediction because I just don't know. I mean, I think we're gonna win a game, but I think we're gonna win a game as well. But I just don't want to make any by how much or anything like that. I'm not gonna say that.
35-31 Carolina.
You got them putting up 31 points on our defense.
Awesome. Well, it's funny. Jeremy put a poll on how many points that we're gonna score, and when I did the poll, how many points the 49ers are gonna score? I said between 11 and 20. And then when I thought about it, I'm like, well, we don't know, but it's week 1. So, even though like we had the 4 preseason games, we don't know what either team has yet.
Yeah, we don't.
And we're on the road. They're at home. They're going to be hyped, man.
I'm just a little bit concerned about Worley.
Yeah, and that's my thing. Like, and you guys have seen it. And depending on what happens too, right? Like if Hoyer does get the ball out in 2 seconds or less, Worley's going to get beat 90% of the time.
Yeah, there was a lot of slants. When I was watching, there's a lot of slants, a lot of quick stuff, a lot of runs, and then they hit dude with that fly, and there was like a play action bootleg, and Marquise was out of there. And I just don't know if we had the speed on the defensive side to keep up with that. We'll see. I don't know. It could be could be completely wrong.
Everybody keeps saying it's Brian Hoyer. It's Brian Hoyer. He's
Yeah,
not as
but
bad as you guys think he is, but guys.
and Hoyer had his best season under Shanahan.
That's a fact. Shanahan was in Cleveland when Hoyer was there. So I don't like, and Hoyer threw a 400-yard game under Shanahan.
Yeah, Shanahan is a good coordinator. Now, people gotta relax. With
I know you're seeing San Francisco 49ers and you're saying terrible, but you got to see who they put there at personnel.
Yeah,
and like, I'm just saying not to sleep on the guy. That's all I'm saying. Don't sleep. It's the NFL. I'm not touching Carolina in suicides. There's easier options. Now, if you wanna talk about it from a quick fantasy perspective, start McCaffrey, start Kelvin, start Olsen, start Stewart. Well, start Stewart if you need like a flex play, like he's a flexer type of thing. Because I think there's going to be enough carries to go around between Stewart and McCaffrey, touches to go around for both of them in this game. Don't touch Funches. Don't touch. If you have to play Cam, play him. But I've already spoke on how I feel about Cam this year. I think Cam's going to have a good year. I just don't think Cam's going to be airing it out that much. On the 49ers side, Hyde. If you play daily, Brian Hoyer is interesting. In daily, not in weekly fantasy, but in daily, Hoyer is interesting because he'll be cheap. And this could have the potential to be a shootout. So, I don't know. I'm not touching Bird. Nope, I'm not touching Bird in any format unless he's a wing and a prayer type of situation. Bird might not even be activated on the rock. Well, now he will be.
Yeah, he will.
He'll be activated. All right, but that's all I have from that standpoint. You know, big play Cam. We'll see, man. This is Cam's first game being healthy, so it'll be interesting. Oh yeah, Panthers defense, but you got to be banking on turnovers. I think we're going to give up a decent chunk of points. So you got to be banking that we're going to get the Hoyer. You got to bank that he might throw a pick. I think they'll put up some points, man. It's the first week. I don't think we're going to be lights out first week. So, I mean, I'm starting Panthers D in one of my leagues, but I'm hoping that, we'll get a couple sacks and a pick.
Yeah, it depends if they do that quick twitch stuff, the quick throws.
Yeah, if it's 2 seconds or less, man, we're not going to get to them. We're not. Like, that's not happening. At that point, you're going to have to hope that Bradbury and Worley and our secondary do their job. So. Because that's the easiest way to stop a defense, man, is getting get out the ball quicker. I'm not underestimating our defense, man, but you can ask any elite defense if you can get to a quarterback in less than 2 seconds. Most of them will tell you no. I think our front seven is great. I'm nervous about Worley.
Yeah, Worley, I'm telling you, man, if he's lined up on Garcon or Goodwin, yeah, they can beat him. Worley's not fast, and he's shown that he's susceptible. Unless he shows up, it could be a long day. They could attack him all game.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how Mike Adams does too.
Yeah, hopefully they got their communication. And hopefully it's switching because he switched jersey numbers to 29. So hopefully he has a Philly Brown in him and starts playing well with once he switched jerseys.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, my man Panthers got FSU is going at us, man. Look, I'm not saying the defense is bad. I'm just telling you that it's week 1. It's unpredictable. And typically when it's unpredictable, anything can happen. Our front seven is elite. I'm not doubting that. My concern is if Hoyer's going to be throwing that ball 2 seconds or less, Worley, they would throw it to Worley.
Again, like I said earlier, man, Kyle Shanahan raped us last year, bro. Like, he's still offensive coordinator. That mind's still there. Like, granted, there's no Matt Ryan on this. There's no Julio Jones. There's no Devontae Freeman. But the concepts are still there. The X's and O's are still there. Like, our defense is not like yet. Like, our defense is like unbeatable. Like we gotten beat before. Like we are susceptible to certain things, and there is a weak link, and his name is Daryl Worley. And so if they can expose that, then we might be in, I'm not saying we even show again. I got us winning the game, and we could be dominant. But I don't know. Kyle Shanahan is a good offensive coordinator, bro. And if we can't stop the run either, we might have some problems.
Yeah, that's critical. But I think we'll be able to start the run. I mean, if you got Carlos Hyde, I still say you're going to have to start him because you probably drafted him at a certain point where you need to start him. But at the same time, I think Carlos Hyde's not going to have a great day. And it's critical that he doesn't. If he has a good day, it's going to be a long day for us.
Yeah, I don't see him putting up 100 or anything like that.
No, he might get a TD.
Couple, he might grab a goal line TD or something like that. But I don't see him putting up 100. I don't see many running backs putting up 100 on us at all. To be honest with you,
I agree. I definitely agree there. I don't. We should win this game. I'm not saying that we're not going to win this game. I'm just saying I want you guys to humble up a little bit. I mean, it's still the NFL, guys. You know, like I'm picking Carolina to win. I pick all the games for everybody because I'm in a pool, so I typically pick all the games. So you know, and I do a suicide pool, but I think, you know, I don't think Carolina's going to be my pick. I think I can find an easier option in Carolina. I think I'm going to go with I think the Steelers are playing Cleveland. I think I'm going to go with that. So, all right. I think I'm good on this game.
Yep.
Frank Soy. See. Well, yeah, we're not gonna. The Jets are different. The Jets are a mess. Like we can't. Somebody's asking about do you want to respect the Jets? We're not going to start 5-0.
Yeah. Come on, man.
We're not going to start 5-0. But nah, the Jets are a little bit different. The Jets, their entire franchise is a mess, top to bottom, from ownership all the way down to the head coach. That franchise is a mess. There might be a different head coach there by the time we play the Jets. That's how bad. That's how bad of a mess they are.
Very true.
So, like, you can't even compare that. Like, the Jets, they are in a different. Like, they're not trying to do anything.
Look. Here's the thing, man. You guys got to understand this. This is not last year's team trotting out there. This isn't a 2015 team trotting out there. There's a lot of moving parts going on. There's a lot of unknowns we don't know. Like if this was like last year's team, we still had the same offensive coordinators. We still had the same defensive coordinator. Sorry, and we still had the same personnel. It'd be easier to make a prediction about these things and feel confident in it. There's a lot of moves. There's a new defensive coordinator, hell, which could be a great thing or it could be detrimental. We don't know. We haven't seen it yet. We don't know what we have in McCaffrey. We've seen McCaffrey play. We don't know how long he's going to be out there. We don't know. We don't know how many plays he's going to be out there. We don't know exactly how they're going to use him yet because I'm pretty sure they didn't play all their cards in the preseason. So they could have some surprise stuff that we've never seen before, which we could blow these dudes out the water. We just don't know. We don't know what we have yet. So it's all the people that's jumping on us saying we like negative. We not being negative. We just being realistic. There's a difference between being confident and being realistic. We just don't know what we have yet. And until we see it, and until I can see it on the field and say, yep, this is what we got, and we're good to go. I'm confident. I've seen it. Week after week after week. We're being consistent. Then we can start making some real predictions and feel confident in it. Right now, we just don't know what we have. That's just bottom line. So until that we're just realists. You want us to be like yeah, I love the Panthers too. I wish I could call every game as a dub, but it's just we being realistic. So,
I mean, this
ain't the podcast for us to be up here and be super Panther. You know what I'm saying? Like we realistic. We like to keep stuff realistic, man. This is what it is.
Yeah. Now it's funny because I know like if you go to the other boards, if you go to the 49ers board right now, they all probably think that we're going to that they're going to beat us and blow us out of the water. and that's, like, and you can go with the fandom, that's cool and all, but I think we're going to win this game. I'm just saying I'll just be a little bit humble. We could blow these guys out. I'm not doubting that, but I think I saw the Vegas line at 6 points. I'm like, yeah, this game might be a little bit closer because it's week one. San Fran ain't lost week one since 2010. They come to play week one, and then they don't come to play for the rest of the year. Like the past few years is what we've seen. And just so happens we play them week one. So that's why I'm saying to temper expectations. I think we're going to win. I think we're going to win. I'll probably, like I said, 35-31. Give me a couple of days. I'll probably tweet a better scoring prediction once I sit down and like go through all the games and see how everything else goes. See if we get rid of a kicker between now and then. That might change it a little bit. So we'll see how it goes. I think Carolina's going to win. I'm not ready to say that Carolina's going to be my suicide pick yet. But as of right now, no, I think there's better options than them because on the road it's dangerous. It's dangerous. I don't think we're starting 5-0. I don't see us beating the Patriots in New England week 4. And Buffalo's looking like it's going to be a tough game now too.
Yeah, Buffalo has all our personnel. They know everything about us. So we'll talk about that one next week.
Yeah,
we ready to wrap this thing up, man?
Yeah, man. Let's wrap it up.
Well, I don't have the audio not playing, so we just got to manually.
No, I'll tell you, man. You guys, yeah, I'll take us out. All right, you need to subscribe to iTunes if you haven't already on Panther Nation Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Panther Nation PC. Follow us on Facebook at Panther Nation Podcast. And always remember, guys, keep pounding.
Keep pounding, peeps.